RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What the hell is going on? Hi guys, this is Tara Devlin, and yeah, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My glasses are crooked. The camera is looking washed out. It's okay, whatever. We're doing it anyway. We do our shows anyway. I don't know. Just saying that for myself, so I giving myself a pep talk. Yeah, we meet here we have a show every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in that vicinity. And then we have shows during the week. Usually I like to do as many shows as possible. I apologize for not being able to do a show until today, especially given everything that's going on. I was sick. I was goddamn sick. I think you guys know I've been sharing with you. I've been just feeling run down, and I don't know. Mother Nature knocked me on my ass. I thought I had COVID for a second, but whatever. I didn't, because I got better. So it was a regular old cold, and I had a fever. Oh my God. I felt like crap. I had aches and all that. Okay, so I'm still alive. I'm still above ground. So that was the last 2 days. And yeah, so here I am. We're not, I don't know. I'm going to try to do a show. Hopefully for my own health, I won't make it another marathon, because I probably should get to bed early. I'm not quite 100%. I just wanted to check in with you guys, because it's not fair to you and me. And people have been, got a tweet from somebody when's the next Tarabuster, and that's good. It's good to be missed. So I do appreciate that. That means that, it matters to people. It matters to me. And I'm glad we can get together and talk about what's going on. All right, let me just do the plugs. If you can, please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin to keep this show and, really this show going and growing. Otherwise, we're doomed. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other. So even $2 a month, if you can, because that helps get us up in the rankings. And if you have the time and the inclination, please give the show a good review on iTunes. That helps as well. There are other ways. These are the ways you can support the show without having to, financially. There are other ways to support the show, because we're up against it, man. We need this. We need this show. We need the liberal media, the real liberal media, because we don't have a liberal media. And one of the things that the Republicans have done, besides destroying democracy and having a knife to democracy's throat, is that they've taken over the media. Well, with the help of Bill Clinton, of course, signing the Telecommunications Act of, I almost said 1776, of 1996, and thereby creating Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, and all of this, and the silos of information that people like morons, moron people, go to consume their confirmation, to have their biases confirmed. That's really what it is. And that's what Fox News is. So we don't have a liberal media. We have Fox News. We have fascist media, and we have corporate media, corporatist media. That is, they just want a little less chaos. But fascism is fine for the corporatists. In fact, they prefer it. They hate unions. They hate people. Any attempt to promote the general welfare over the welfare, or even just promote, not even over the welfare of the corporate elite. Any attempt to promote the general welfare, period, is met with cries and whines of socialism and freedom, as if you're free to go die in the streets. That's the way they want to make it seem in this country. We have no obligation to each other. Forget pledging your life, fortune, and sacred honor to each other. These assholes can't even wear a mask. You know what I mean? It's vile. They're disgusting. It's not patriotic. I keep thinking about them. Ugh. That's probably why I'm sick. And I think just think back to the beginning of the pandemic, or a couple of years ago, whatever. It felt like a goddamn lifetime. And the Republicans telling Granny to take one for the team. Granny will happily die for the economy. That's all they care about. You are nothing to them. We are nothing. We're not supposed to have any obligation to each other. There's no social compact, no social contract. There's just rugged individuals, and that's just code word for not giving a shit about anybody else but yourself. That's not a civilization. They are tedious because they want all the benefits of civilization, but they don't want any of the responsibilities that we have to each other. They want to ride our roads. They want to drink the water that's inspected by somebody else, but then they didn't dig the well to get the water and then go and boil it or whatever you had to do in the olden days. No. They was there. They just turn on the tap. Freedom. That's what freedom is. You stupids. Building the infrastructure of democracy, and they can't handle it. That's why they love Putin and Erdogan and all the autocrats of the world. But you see what's happening in Ukraine. One of the most, besides everything else that sucks, but one of the irritating things that's happening with Republicans is that they're trying to co-opt the spirit of the Ukrainian people. Now, never mind the fact that they have a goddamn Putin-installed puppet as their standard bearer, an ignoramus, somebody who is unfit to lead a drunken conga line, much less a modern nation. I'm sure maybe you saw it. It was on Newsmax, another fascist cesspool, peddling bullshit, peddling revisionist history, saying that, Trump was really tough on Putin, tougher than anybody, because history and facts have not history, but facts have a liberal bias. And they're telling their dumbasses that, Trump was the strongest, bestest, most like anybody's ever seen, strongest and bestest against Putin. And it's bullshit. So John Bolton, who I'm not a fan of, but it was pretty goddamn delicious watching John Bolton fact check this fascist in real time. I'm trying to get let me see here. Where the heck is it? Bolton. Here we go. Bolton on Newsmax. Let's play it and then we'll talk about it.
A very tough stance against Russia. I'm surprised you don't think that he would have handled this better than Joe Biden.
No, he did not. He did not. We didn't sanction Nord Stream 2. We didn't sanction Nord Stream 2.
This after the fascist propaganda network had a bulleted list of shit that Trump didn't do. All the lies. One of I think at the top was, he made NATO pay up. Oh, yeah? Really? The embarrassment of that. Hey, what does NATO do for us? You got to pay. You pay up. You got $2? You got $20? Let me get you pay. Pay up. Pay up. Pay. It's like that's all that he can do. Pay up. Hey, as if everything is a transaction. Everything, the wealth is only what you can shove in your pockets. Not the alliance or having a modern world where democracies look out for each other, so-called democracies, and stand up to tyranny No, hey, pay me. You got $2? Hey, I got some vitamins here, some Trump Network vitamins. You want to sign on to the multi-level marketing? Only $5,000 to buy in, and then you're going to be rich. It's recession-proof. I tell you, it's recession-proof. The greed, the stupidity, and it gets worse. We should have brought the project to an end. We did impose sanctions on Russian oligarchs and several others because of their sales of S-400 anti-aircraft systems to other countries. But in almost every case, the sanctions were imposed with Trump complaining about it and saying we were being too hard. The fact is that he barely knew where Ukraine was. He once asked John Kelly, his second chief of staff, if Finland were a part of Russia. It's just not accurate to say that Trump's behavior somehow deterred the Russians. I think the evidence is that Russia didn't feel. Let me finish now.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't feel that their military was ready. I don't think he understood what he was doing. That's my fundamental point. This is not really a policy argument. This is about Trump's lack of any significant historical knowledge, his lack of strategic thinking, and frankly, his lack of thinking about pretty much anything other than what benefited Donald Trump. Why was he concerned about Ukraine in the summer of 2019? Because he wanted that DNC server. Why was he concerned about corruption in Ukraine? Because he was looking for an excuse to cover the reason he was refusing to send $250 million of security assistance to the Ukraine. And only when that finally blew up in his face.
He did send some assistance, though. I mean, we did sell them arms.
It was mandated by Congress.
Yeah, you dumb bastard. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. You dumb bastard. See, he doesn't know that Congress holds the purse string, not the king, not the dim leader, the dumb Führer. Oh, well, he did send $250 million. No, he used it like his personal extortion fund. That's what he was trying to do. And they're trying to rewrite history, as usual, because this is what Republicans do. And we all have to, I guess, let them get away with it? I don't understand why they always get away with it. There's no consequences for them. And people are going to vote for them again? The idiot who didn't know that Finland wasn't part of Russia, he needed to ask that? You stupid, ignorant, willfully ignorant cuss. It's worse. You know how Trump always talked about how he had the best education and he's the best, the biggest, and best and the brightest and he's got the very big brain, a very good brain. He's dumb. With all of that, the best education money can buy, and he still is as ignorant as Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of them. What's worse is that they want to make him the so-called president again, despite receiving fewer votes. That ignorant waste of human DNA put 3 illegitimate Supreme Court justices onto the Supreme Court. Illegitimate. Three people this scumbag put on the Supreme Court. Illegitimately. With the help of Moscow Mitch, otherwise known as the gravedigger of American democracy. I didn't call him that. That's what World War II historians call him. And the bulleted list, as Bolton says, it's not true. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. You're making shit up, and Trump is ignorant. And let's keep going. Any significant historical knowledge, his lack of strategic thinking, and frankly, his lack of thinking about pretty much anything other than what benefited Donald Trump. Why was he concerned about Ukraine in the summer of 2019? Because he wanted that DNC server. Why was he concerned about corruption in Ukraine? Because he was looking for an excuse to cover the reason he was refusing to send $250 million of security assistance to the Ukraine. And only when that finally blew up in his face.
He did send some assistance, though. I mean, we did sell them arms.
It was mandated by Congress, and
he clearly doesn't know that. This fucking idiot on Newsmax. He clearly doesn't know that Congress passes the laws. Congress holds the purse strings. The con man, Trump, the con man who squatted in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, his constitutionally mandated role is to execute those laws faithfully, not use our taxpayer money as his personal piggy bank / extortion fund. That's why he was impeached. One time. Just one time. The other time, he was also a traitor. Everywhere you look, he's a traitor. They are all traitors. And they want to put him back in office, and they want to, if not make him the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes, they want to make him Speaker of the House to own the libs. That's how much they hate this country. It's disgusting. You're motivated. You're going to put an ignorant, greedy, narcissist con man with a fake university, a fake vitamin scam, who had to take a seminar about not cheating your own fake charity, and they want to make him put them in positions of power. Put this cuss in positions of power because it'll trigger the libs. That's how much they hate this country. I don't give a shit. They call themselves patriots up the wazoo, and I don't care how many hats with eagles and stars and giant made in China flags they fly on their gas guzzling trucks. They are traitors. You don't do that. You love the country. You don't put morons in charge deliberately. I mean, there's so much. The problems are, they feel somewhat insurmountable at times. It doesn't make sense to me that the Democrats cannot see that you cannot be bipartisan with a bunch of traitors. We got traitors among us, guys. They are, and one of them one of the useless idiots just pled guilty to seditious conspiracy for that day. And, they don't give a shit. And then we'll hear on the corporate media how up in the polls, down in the polls, what should Joe Biden do to unite the American people? Well, let's see. We live in the least upwardly mobile country with the widest income gap between rich and poor, which was the exact opposite a mere 40 years ago. What do we do? We have a bunch of billionaires who don't pay any taxes, and their corporations jerking off in space, making us, basically riding us to the bank like borrowed mules. Well, let's see. What do? And Republicans took that income disparity and upward immobility. They looked at it, they were like, you know what, we need more of this, more income disparity, more upward immobility, because you know what, if any attempt to promote the general welfare, that's socialism, and you hate that. No matter what it is, even though it's, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de. People, Democrats saying that's when government owns the means of production, and that doesn't matter because the American people think it's government interfering in their lives. Like, who gives a shit? Government? We're tired. We're going to interfere in your life? Why? How? By ensuring that when you turn on the tap, you don't get explosive diarrhea from the parasites because it's been inspected? Socialism. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to pave your own roads. Or how about I'm living in an apartment building. It's built to code. I don't think I'm going to collapse right now. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing isn't going to pancake because it's built to standard, socialism. because we all have a vested interest in having a civilization. And that's what it looks like. Yeah, in other parts of the world, they don't have that. They don't have standards and codes that they have. Oh, I know, what a pain in the ass. Regulation. All of that pesky regulation is so much cheaper. Like Trump did. In fact, one of the bullshit, he's supposed to be this great developer. One of the buildings, I don't know if it's probably more than one, they used, you're going to be surprised, shoddy materials in the building because it was cheaper. And he used concrete instead of steel, things like that. So we'll be dead, but maybe in 100, 200 years, that building will collapse and everybody will say, thanks, Trump. That's how much he loves America, you know? They love America so much, except they hate everybody in it. They love to suck on you like you're nothing but a host from which to suck profit and discard while crying, USA, USA. What does that mean? What does that mean to these people? When you say you love America, what does it mean? You love America, you hate everybody in it. You love America, America the beautiful, but you want to blow the tops off the mountains, you want to frack the fruited plains. Well, what do you love about America? You hate the government. Government's the problem. That's the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, but that's the problem, not the solution. Well, what's the solution? Because I kept hearing, last night was Joe Biden's State of the Union address, and I kept, I'm looking at the damn Twitter and all of the filthy fascists on there saying, oh, Joe Biden, he needs to resign. He's not helping America. What we need to do is what? What do we need? We need to put an ignorant cuss back in the White House despite receiving fewer votes and give him as many fascists around him as he wants to enable him? That's how much they hate America. They put this moron in a position of power, in charge of the nuclear codes, and he's unfit. They're all unfit, though. That's your proof. If I don't even know. I mean, how many analogies? If the Democrats put Tara Jr. in charge, we would say that's pretty goddamn unfit. But what's the difference? I would rather have Tara Jr. in charge, wouldn't you? You know, he's not a greedy con man. He's not a moron. It might as well be Tara Jr. As far as they're concerned, they just need somebody to sign away democracy and hold up his stupid folder like he's the goddamn king and be like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, my God. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button and going backwards.
And only when that finally blew up in his face...
He did send some assistance, though. I mean, we did sell them arms.
Oh, we sold them arms.
It was mandated by Congress.
You
and
stupid
the
moron.
danger was we were coming up to the end of the fiscal year. He made up the reasons that he did it. He wanted to apply pressure for his own political purposes.
I still don't think it's fair to say that there was no
so unfair to him
intelligent moves to keep Russia in check during the 4 years of Donald Trump in office. I don't think that's
I
fair.
didn't say that.
Okay.
Well, I didn't. No, that's fine because I didn't say that. My point is Trump was not fit to be president. He was not competent to be president.
Oh my! Well, what do you say to that? Oh, that's just not true. We love the dim leader, the dumb Führer. We'll die for our dumb Führer. What do you say? What's your response? The moron doesn't know that Finland isn't a part of Russia. He needs to ask that. It's beyond reason why. Well, we know that they hate democracy, but it's proof. that they hate democracy. They hate America. It's not just democracy. They hate the whole goddamn thing. They hate the grand experiment. They hate the liberal age of enlightenment. They hate e pluribus unum. Everything about the country. They hate the nation of immigrants. Prove me wrong. What do they love about America? They love morons. They love putting morons in charge. I wouldn't put morons in charge of my cats if I ever go on a goddamn vacation. Right? Really? You don't put morons in charge of things that you love. You put people who love and cherish them as much as you do. At least you hope so. Why would you put a moron in charge of the country? You're supposed to be such a patriot. You're so patriotic that you put an ignorant tax-cheating con man. Every tax... and there was another... In one of the debates with Hillary, she was right again. She said every tax... Every dollar you dodged in taxes meant another soldier didn't get body armor. Stuff like that. That's the practicalities of paying the price of admission to a civilized society. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay their fair share, but everybody else is a taker. They need us at each other's throats so they can continue to steal. The people who are takers are them. And they're enablers. Conservatism is the fundamentally undemocratic ideology that's holding the knife to democracy's throat. Absolutely. And what was I saying? Oh, yeah, on corporate media, again, we hear somebody on MSNBC was saying to the DNC chair, Joe Biden, he said he was going to unite everybody, and he's not. It's still us against them. Well, what are we going to do about that? Should we maybe give more tax breaks to the 1%? So, they're already paying zero taxes. Maybe we can empty our pockets upside down, and you could shake each other by the ankles, and whatever change falls out, we'll give it to them. How much more? We're already, excuse me, like I said, I'm still sick. We're already the least upwardly mobile with the widest income gap. Well, how much more? Shall we be absolutely no upwardly mobile at all? Maybe. How's that? Well, that's what they want. They want a bunch of serfs, a bunch of peons, just like Putin has. They want a bunch of oligarchs. I love the commentary all over corporate media. Oh, we got the oligarchs. Explain it. That's what they're doing here. We got oligarchs here. And that's not democracy. You don't have an oligarchy in a democracy. You can't have a democracy when you're the least upwardly mobile of all the Western democracies, so-called democracies. Oh, how are you going to unify? Joe Biden has promised to unify us. How? What does that entail? Because it's never enough for the fascists. They don't want to unify. All the while, Democrats have been giving these pricks everything they want. When Reagan says government's not the problem, government's not the solution, government's the problem. What does Bill Clinton say? The era of big government is over. It's the end of welfare as we know it, because, you got it too good, peons. That you might think that government does something for you, and we can't have that. Because you might think that when you pay your taxes, that you expect a level of promoting the general welfare, since it's in the Constitution 3 times in capital words. So, I don't know. You might think that, but that's not free. You're not free. If you're promoting the general welfare, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go marry a billionaire. Go marry, a con man like Melania did. Do some nude modeling in between. Be an escort. You'll hang out. Be a high-class hooker with a heart of gold. And then you hang out with a bunch of scumbag business assholes, and maybe one of them it'll be like Pretty Women. One will fall in love, and they'll open up a box with a ring in it, and you'll be like, oh, and you can pull your hand back. The American dream. It's the new American dream. You got to be asleep to believe it. Isn't that what George Carlin said? It's true. And how you gonna unite everyone, Joe Biden? You promised to unite, and it's still us against them. Well, I wonder why. Never do these corporate media mouthpieces, do they say, how do you unite with a bunch of traitors? How do you unite with big liars who are still spreading the big lie, who are all over the country, altering laws, changing? I mean, it didn't even wait. They didn't even wait an hour after the voting, after what's his name? Joe Biden, John Roberts, all these names. After John Roberts gutted the Voting Rights Act when nobody asked him to. And give me a break here. I keep hearing these assholes on Twitter. I told you I was in this like little Twitter conversation with some right winger, and she's like, "It's unconstitutional." Saying, "Oh, all of a sudden, after 50 effing years, the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional." When, all I know, she goes, I'm not a constitutional scholar, but all I know is that the states are supposed to run the elections. Well, what if they're, what's the word? Effing with the voting rolls to the point where they're surgically targeting communities that might vote them out of office. Oh, that's not unconstitutional, apparently, to them. They just say unconstitutional. It's like they say Jesus. It's ridiculous. It's not unconstitutional. So it's always unconstitutional whenever Republicans are trampling everybody else's rights. But ask them to put on a mask, to save Granny. And we're going to get a lecture on how Granny should die. She already had a nice life. Fuck her. The economy. She'll take one for the team. Let her die. She's already been, what is she, 70? Whatever. 80? Die, Granny. You'll see Jesus, and we'll be like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, my God. Thank you, Irene, for your super chat. Irene wins the Super Chat Challenge tonight. Thank you, Tarabuster, for always keeping it real. And there was another Super Chat in here. Oh, thank you, Jim, of course. My God, Jim. Thank you, Jim, for your Super Chat, as always. Mamma mia. I gotta breathe. I got a high blood pressure. I don't know if you knew that. I think I told you. I'm going to stroke out on this show. All right, what else? They suck. They hate America. I have the proof. We have the receipts. Prove me wrong. I really do want to be wrong about this. I don't want to live in a country with a bunch of fascists and traitors. I don't want to live in fascism. That's not what we all were promised. That's the tragedy. And they are fascists. They can't even help it. And we're going to talk about tonight. I wanted to talk about, playing that Bolton clip. Of course, we'll talk about Joe Biden's State of the Union and the antics of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. What do they think they are? Hello, as I said, Republicans are unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. And there's your proof. Another example. Well, let's unite with them. How are you going to unite with traitors who have no grip on reality? And they don't know how to behave in the people's house. They act like idiots. It's embarrassing. I mean, you had the Ukrainian ambassador up in the tiers, up in the bleachers or whatever. And I love how the fascists are out there on Twitter, the Republican fascists, trying to co-opt the Ukrainian spirit when they did everything they could to put Ukrainians in the ground for the name of Putin, for the sake of Putin. And you know that if the asshole was still in the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, we would be fighting with Russia right now. We would already be out of NATO, and NATO would be in a shambles. The Western Democratic Alliance would be, I don't know, a memory. Hey, pay up. They didn't pay. They owed me $2. They didn't pay. We're a bunch of suckers. We're always paying. I don't know. Pay. You got $20, guys? That's how small they are. Oh, he made Russia pay. Or he made whoever pay. No, he didn't. They laughed in his face. He made us as small as he is, or at least he tried to. He embarrassed us. He degraded us and humiliated us, and, the Republicans just keep it going. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, serial adulterer, and Lauren Boebert. I think she failed her GED test 3 times. Okay? She's a high school dropout who failed her GED test. And right before she was sworn into office, I think she passed. She finally passed. And here's another one. I'm not sure you probably know. Lauren Boebert and her sexual predator husband were banned from a bowling alley. Banned. We have Roy Moore banned from the mall. Lauren Boebert banned from a bowling alley. How low? How much of a lowbrow do you got to be banned from a bowling alley? Right? Scum. Trash. That's what they are. You know why they were banned? Well, apparently Lauren Boebert, I know you're going to be shocked, is a real dumb bitch. All right? And she's also an ignorant, arrogant loudmouth. There was numerous times in her life, warrants out for her arrest. For one, I'm trying to find it because off the top of my head, she didn't appear. She was summoned to appear before a judge because I think she was arrested for interfering with law enforcement. There were a bunch of kids drinking at a public event, in a park or something. And Boebert, so the cops came and they were arresting these teenagers who were drinking in this, at this place outside. And Boebert, who was drunk herself, stuck her big, filthy Republican fascist nose in the cops' business. How much they love cops until they're fighting on the right side of history. So let me see. Boebert, she racked up a lot of arrests. Let's see. History of minor arrests. That's because she's just a minor human. Minor. She's like a little flea, a gnat, who doesn't know how to behave herself. Of course, like all Republicans, there's something fundamentally damaged in her. Where's this from? The Denver Post. Congressional candidate Lauren Boebert has a history of minor arrests and court no-shows. Because, just like the seditious conspirators, they don't care. They don't have any respect for this country, for the laws. That's what it means to be in a free country. You have courts. You have laws so we can all live amongst each other. And if you don't show up for court, basically you're saying, F you. F you, government. Rules for thee, not for me. Rifle Republican has been arrested and summoned 4 times in the past decade. In between, she had a lot of time because she didn't go to high school. She dropped out. That's how much she sticks to it, It was probably, she had to open a book once. There's her mugshot from Justin Wingerter, congressional candidate. And people voted for her. People they turned her from a candidate into their representative. How much do you have to hate yourself to make Lauren Boebert your representative? How much do you hate this country to do that to the country? And you know why they did it? Because she's as filthy and unfit and inadequate, underwhelming as they are. And, she likes to say the N-word too. That's what it comes down to. Bottom line. Bottom effing line. And, just an aside, someone on Twitter, one of these Republicans trying to co-opt the Ukrainian spirit, fighting democracy, when Republicans would be the collaborators. You understand? If we have a fascist coup ongoing right now, and so they're collaborating with the most unfit fascists to ever strut like a goddamn cock of the walk. Right? I mean, they're enabling him. They're collaborating with this unfit fascist who wants to squat in the White House again, despite receiving fewer votes, because they hate democracy. They hate America. And just like in history, in all fascists, all democracies that fall to fascism, they can never do it without the help of the conservative collaborators. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. Every country that fell to Hitler has their collaborators. Just what's going on in Ukraine. They're finding their collaborators. They want to take over. They're going to need them. But don't worry. They'll be right-wing collaborators. Not only holding the dagger to democracy's throat, they'll slice it right across. Because they hate democracy. And if we were under attack, if, let's say, Putin came here, of course I'm sure it wouldn't happen, but you know what I'm saying? Let's play the game. What do you think the Republicans would do? They would be the Vichy regime, collaborating with the autocrat. Of course they would. Come on, if history is any guide, and we would be the ones in the resistance. That's the way it always is, just like in 1776. So, congressional candidate Lauren effing high school dropout Boebert, who often espouses pro-police and law and order messages on the campaign trail, has been arrested and summoned at least 4 times in the past decade. I'm sorry, there's something wrong with this goddamn chair. While the 3 arrests and 1 court order summons were for petty crimes, and in one case all charges were dropped, Boebert's record is unusually long for a congressional candidate. It has become a campaign issue as the Republican from Rifle competes in a highly anticipated contest against Dianne Mitch Bush, in the 3rd congressional district. Yeah, I mean, what a shame. I'm proud to be endorsed by my hometown sheriff, Lou Valario, who knows the strength of my character. The summary here is a small fine, not charged, and charge dismissed, charge dropped, Boebert said on Thursday, referring to the outcomes of her 4 cases. 4!
Anybody on the chat have 4 cases? Wow, we got a lot of what do you call it? Trolls in the chat room. That's a good sign. How interesting. Thank you, Haiku, for taking care of that. Let me see. Where was I? In the meantime, Diane Mitch Bush is intent on socializing our health care. Oh my God, I hate them. Yeah, bitch. Socializing. Well, anytime, like I said, you promote the general welfare. It's government interfering in our lives, but please don't touch my get your government hand off of my Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. Boebert's first run-in with police was in the fall of 2010 after a neighbor, Michelle Soet, alleged that Boebert, then 23, was harassing Soet and Soet's husband. The alleged harassment occurred in the days after Soet called the police because Boebert's pit bulls were on the loose and threatening the life of her dogs. Of course. Well, that's how she's a good neighbor. She's a responsible person, and everybody else has to live in her world. That's it. It's her world. We get to live in it sometimes, but we better get out of the way because the bitch is armed and she's unhinged. Boebert, because she's a coward and an idiot. She can't go to the store without packing heat because she lives in some kind of world where we're all at each other's throats and she hates people with darker pigment, so she's afraid. Boebert was issued a ticket for the dog code violations, and a short time later texted Soet, "You have taken food out of my children's mouths." Shut up, you bitch. Oh, victim. Such a victim. Aren't they so victimized? How do they stand it? Being so put upon to have to act like a decent person sometimes, and when their bullshit catches up to them and they have to pay a fine, they're so victimized. It was like how Trump was victimized, not being able to use taxpayer money to extort the Ukrainian president all he wanted was an announcement of an investigation. He didn't have to do an investigation. It was just for, politics. And what the hell? What good is being president if you can't use taxpayer money as your own extortion slush fund, even though that's unconstitutional? And they all voted to let him off. All the Republicans voted. Well, not all, but most. And, everybody else is a traitor to them. I hate them. Do you see how much that they're the traitors? We're not just saying it. We're not just flinging pejoratives at them. They're traitors. We have the proof. They're admitting it. Somebody actually, when the hell was this? On ROKFIN. There's a lot of right-wingers on ROKFIN. That's another channel that we're on. Tarabuster's on. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat, the haiku tip jar. Thank you. Someone in the last show on ROKFIN posted something. I guess I said something about patriotic or, we're the patriots. Liberals are the real patriots. Of course we are. We're capable of functioning in a free democratic society. We are capable of living in a country that promotes the general welfare, and that's what we're trying to do. We're mature enough to be able to not have a full diaper when we lose an election. You just regroup and keep going and, make your case. But Republicans can't do that. They cheat, they rig, they gerrymander, they lie, they devalue truth, and all that. But anyway, well, one person on the ROKFIN feed said something about, isn't fascism? Well, no, this is how he said it. Can't fascism also be patriotic? Now, I don't know. I didn't respond to this person, but I don't know what he was getting at because I only saw it after the fact. But then I was looking at the other comments trying to be like, is this supposed to be a joke? Can't fascism also be patriotic? They're out in the open with their hatred of America. Can't fascism be patriotic? No, asshole, it can't. No, it's anathema. It is the diametrically opposed, a system that is diametrically opposed to democracy, especially a multiracial democratic republic. Get the fuck out of here. Can fascism be patriotic? Why? Because there's a lot of flags involved? A lot of goddamn dumbasses strutting around saying, salute the flag. Like they think that's the substitute for actual patriotism, as they're sticking their filthy fascist noses into everybody's business. They hate this country. They hate America. And we're going to get to something that makes me sick. The filthy, disgusting fascists in Texas investigating parents who are helping their trans children. Like these assholes know better, That's the way it is. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. They know better. They want, not you, not freedom, not families. It's fascism. It's their family or nothing. Forget about life, forced birth. That's another thing we talk about on the show. I wish one of the Democrats or if somebody in power can get the message to the Democrats. What is so hard about saying that if you don't like abortion, vote Democratic because abortion rates go down? What is so hard about that? I say it all the time. It's ridiculous. Come on. It's true. That's the truth. You're not pro-life. When they start saying pro-life, you say, no. Pro-birth, honey. You're not pro-birth, just like you're not patriotic. You are pro-birth. I mean, you're not pro-life, like you're not patriotic. Because you're pro-birth. If you really wanted to reduce abortion rates, you would not. I mean, if you really, first of all, you would vote Democratic because abortion rates go down under expanded health care, expanded education, expanded living wages. So you hate life on all levels. And you want birth because it's about control. And you need people, nice and poor. Just send into your whatever next war of corporate aggression, du jour. You like people nice and poor and not able to function in a democracy. You just want them in the fields and just die. And when they die, roll over in the field and kick them into a pit and make fertilizer out of them. That's it. Because the rest, we got shit to do in the gated communities. We got to drink our mint juleps and look down on you, and you don't worry, you'll get a nice reward in heaven. Jesus Christ! So we're just reading Lauren Boebert's arrest records. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes, here we go. This is what happened. This is who she is. And, I mean, for all my troubles in my youth, you won't find a single incident like this. That's how you know she's scum. Boebert was, and just an aside, if, people in the grips of active addiction act like assholes, we have a chance to redeem ourselves in recovery. This is somebody who is irredeemable. She doesn't think she has a problem. She thinks it's the world, everybody else's problem. She's ignorant, and she wants to drag everyone down to her level because not being ignorant is too much work for her.
and her hubby, who likes to show his dick to underage girls in a bowling alley. That's the classy Boeberts. Do you see how disgusting they are? They're all a bunch of trash. It's like Sarah Palin. She was trash too. Still is. And we read the story about how they went to a house party and they all got into a fight. The whole family got into a fist fight. Oh, that was being disrespected. Who cares? That's how stupid they are. Disrespected. Nobody can disrespect you unless you believe what they're saying. Don't you know who I am? Apparently, Bristol Palin said, don't you know who I am? And she was crying at the house party. Nobody wanted her there. The whole family, they showed up in a white stretch limo. The Palin family. Now imagine if it were the Obamas. It would never happen, of course, because the Obamas have class. But these are people who they wouldn't call Obama by his name. They called him everything but his name. These pricks. They hate Obama. They hated the Obamas and still do because they wish they were them. And look at what's happening with Judge Jackson. Another example of how disgusting Republicans are. Now, she's not going to get anybody to vote for her, even though they voted for her. Some of them voted for her just mere months ago. But, I wonder if their votes would change if Judge Jackson, I'm talking about Joe Biden's pick for the Supreme Court. I wonder if it would change if Judge Jackson pounded the table and screamed, "Revenge of the Clintons." And I like beer, okay? Could you imagine? Of course that'll never happen. That's how disgusting Republicans are. They are just not fit. Everything about them, unfit. Think about the Republican vice presidential candidate showing up to a house in Alaska where she's not wanted, she's not invited, with her entire family, who pour out of a white stretch limo. If that's not trashy enough, what you think they were hanging out the sunroof? Whee! Topless? I wouldn't be surprised. And then they get into a fist fight. Honestly, I'm laughing to stop from crying. What would the founders say? The saints who walked among us, according to Republicans. The infallible founders. Could you imagine? That's how much... They're hypocrites. They're horrible. They suck. They're unfit. Okay, all right. I want to press charge. Where is it? Boebert was issued a ticket for the dog code violation. And a short time later, she texted SOAT, "You have taken food out of my children's mouths." Oh, yes, you're a victim. Boebert also displayed her middle finger to SOAT's husband as he drove through Rifle, which is the town. Of course she lives there because she's a dumbass and cliche. According to Garfield County Sheriff's Deputy report, "I want to press charges against these irresponsible people, as it may save a life down the road," SOAT wrote to the Sheriff's Department, referring to Boebert's loose pit bulls. 2 days later, Boebert was handed a court summons by deputies, but ultimately was never charged with harassment, according to court records. Boebert was arrested twice in Mesa County in 2015, just less than 7 years ago, as first reported by Colorado Newsline. Boebert was detained in June after a verbal altercation with police at Country Jam. Yeah, that's what it is. A music festival near Grand Junction. Boebert, then 28, and you're not a teenager. Yeah, it's bad enough you're being a dumb bitch at 22.
But you're 28 now, honey. You're grown up. You're a woman. You're an adult. Act like it. Boebert, then 28, allegedly shouted at people detained on suspicion of underage drinking, urging them to flee from police, which caused the young drinkers to become unruly. Could you imagine the scene? Oh my God, I wish there were video. While she was being handcuffed for disorderly conduct, Boebert tried to twist away from the police. So she was resisting arrest. And no one shot her. Right? Taser, taser, taser. Why not? Oops, I mistook my taser, my plastic giant taser, for a gun. I mistook this giant plastic yellow thing for cold hard steel. Taser, taser, taser. We would have a lot less morons walking around right now. We could have done without the antics at the State of the Union from these dumb bitches. She allegedly shouted that her arrest was unconstitutional. What else is new? Unconstitutional. Yeah, it's unconstitutional. Right? That's your pat answer. Like tax breaks. Everything's a tax break. Tax break, low taxes, no regulation, and unconstitutional. There's your Republican platform? I don't know. They don't have one. The only platform they need is one that will allow them to fillet Trump without hurting their necks, I guess. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Come on. Why do you have to do this, Junior? Come on. Come on. All right. Well, you stay there. You stay there then. Stay. Every time. He just wants to come over. What are you doing? All right, stay there. Oh, man. Thank you all. Thank you, of course, Irene, for your super chat, and Jim. And thank you, JD, for your super chat in pounds. And thank you, River. I'm so glad you received your mugs. River says, love my cups, Tara. I'm very glad. And thank you, Haiku, for your super chat. And hold on, that's stupid. I don't know. Maybe I should stand up. Let me do that. Hold on a second. I gotta move the cat. Come on, Lovely. Come on, my love. All right. Let's see. Let's do it. Standing desk time. Now I need to move this. There we go. That's better. I'm myself again. All right, we're back. My ass was killing me on that chair. I wanted to sit down because I thought maybe, not feeling well, I'll take it easy. But it was like bothering my ass. Literally, my butt cheeks were being bothered on that chair. All right, what else? Too much information. Where were we? Boebert was arrested twice. Yes, we said that. Country Jam. While she was being handcuffed for disorderly conduct, Boebert tried to twist away from police, according to the deputy's report. Oh, but, Blue Lives Matter. Why didn't they get the taser out? Because, you know why? She's got white skin. Her pigment isn't dark. Now imagine someone with darker pigment doing that. They would be dead. Twisting away? She resisted. I was in fear for my life. How come nobody fears for their life when that bitch is around? That's what I want to know. They should have all gotten their tasers out. Taser, taser, taser. Oh my God. While she twisted. She allegedly shouted that her arrest was unconstitutional, even though she can not even spell unconstitutional. She can't even spell much less constitutional. That she had friends. Okay, here we go. Friends at Fox News, and the arrest would be national news. it did not become national. This is who they are. In fact, it's reminding me of another story that I think we'll do after this one, since it's kind of related. And it just goes to who they are as human beings, and I'm saying that with air quotes. They're disgusting. Don't you know who I am? How many times has a Republican screamed, "Do you know who I am?" Like Matt Gaetz. We read there was some blog posts from, of course, you take it with a grain of salt. But it kind of had the ring of truth to me about Matt Gaetz. When he was a little daddy's boy, as he always is. "Don't you know my father? Don't you know who I am?" When he was getting kicked out of clubs and bars because he doesn't know how to behave. He would scream, "Don't you know who I am?" He was being kicked out of a bar because he was getting handsy with the waitresses. He was like putting their, sexually assaulting people as they were working. Because as you do when you're Matt Gaetz. "Don't you know who I am?" with that stupid wolfy face and that stupid hair, that pompadour that he has. Ugh. And then you got to think about, imagine if this were any Democrat having sex in front of Joel Greenberg. Just what Joel Greenberg said. Oh, not only did Matt Gaetz, does he know, but verbally, that Matt Gaetz had sex with an underage girl, he saw him do it. Because that's who he is. He's like a dog. He just like... No shame. He thinks he's a porn star or something, I suppose. Could you imagine how disgusting that was to watch Matt Gaetz have sex with an underage girl? Now there's something you can't unsee. Gross. They're unfit. They're sick. Well, how come nobody is in jail? Will somebody arrest these fuckers already? Okay, whatever. Boebert was released from custody and told to appear in court that August, but missed her court date, as she told the judge. She forgot. I forgot. I guess that's what happened when you didn't forget to sign yourself out of high school, though, right? I forgot. Because you're so patriotic. You respect authority. You love the Blue Lives Matter. I'm a patriot. Can't you see my stars and my bars and my stripes and my giant made in China flag? I'm a patriot. As for the system that the founders fought, bled, and died to entrust to us, oh, fuck that. I'm not showing up. Court? Back in the old days, the king would just throw you in jail and forget about you. That's why people fought, bled, and died, you dumb bitch. I'm really sorry that at that one moment we weren't back in time. And the king could just shove your ass in some pit, throw down some chicken bones now and then for you to gnaw on, and that'll be that. Yes. I am now aware today is Friday, she wrote on August 28, 2015, hours after she was supposed to appear in court. So you didn't know the day of the week. That's your excuse. I didn't know. I'm such a productive member of society. Now, who doesn't know the days of the week? Unless you got problems. You're fabulously wealthy and you don't need to be anywhere, or you're a loser. Well, I'm just saying it because she is a loser. Judge, or you're on vacation, right? Even though then you know the days of the week. So, because you got to return to your normal life, being a pleb. The judge, Craig Henderson, rescheduled for later that year, but he should have put her ass in jail. Well, she has white skin, so. But Boebert, again, was a no-show. Why didn't you go to jail then? In a handwritten note to the judge, she said she did not include a reason for her absence. I apologize for irresponsibly wasting the court's time with this matter. I want nothing more to be finished with this case. It is not something I keep on the forefront of my thinking, really, because why? You hate America? You're better than us? Then you're better than the courts? You know more? You know where Finland is? Is that it? I doubt that. The court was less accommodating that time, records indicate. On December 1st, 2015, Boebert was arrested by sheriff's deputies for failure to appear, and that's what has to happen. You can't just go, I'm not going to court today. Otherwise, the court has no teeth. That's why I don't understand why Steve Bannon is still walking around to praise Putin. Why? Why? He's in open contempt of Congress. Why is he walking around? You tell Congress to pound sand when they send you a subpoena. You see what happens to you. Especially if you have darker pigment. Boebert was arrested by sheriff's deputies for failure to appear, according to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation arrest records. The next month, the disorderly conduct charge was dismissed because there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction should the case go to trial. Why? Taser, taser, taser! Damn it! Failing to appear for court also landed Boebert in jail a year later. As first reported by the Colorado Times Recorder, Boebert was charged with careless driving and operating an unsafe vehicle after rolling her truck into a Garfield County ditch in the summer of 2016 because she was probably drunk. They were minor traffic accidents, but Boebert skipped out on the October court date. Why didn't she go to jail? She was booked into the Garfield County Jail the morning of February 13th, 2017 for failure to appear, and spent exactly 100 minutes as an inmate before being released on bond, according to the sheriff's records. She later pleaded guilty to the unsafe vehicle charge, and the careless driving charge was dropped. Why? You're in a ditch, bitch. The man in charge of the jail then and now is Valerio, the Garfield County Sheriff. 3 years after Boebert was detained in the jail Valerio operates, he endorsed her campaign for Congress. Well, she's racist like him. That's all that matters. She's like, freedom, and let's all say the N-word. I can tell you, I've worked with law enforcement members and 2 sheriffs who have had an arrest record in their past from their younger days. Well, their younger days maybe were behind them. She's still in those days. So Valerio said maybe that they made some bad decisions, but turned out to be very fine people and great leaders. No, they didn't. No, she didn't. Very fine. Yelling out in the middle of the State of the Union. Lying. I mean, lying is a given, but just yelling as Joe Biden is talking about his dead son. What scum. 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 Guys. Scum. That's trash. She's trash. She's scum. Like all of them. And thank you, Errol Thomas, for your super chat. When will Republic clowns ever gonna learn how to see that they haven't been so very smart? Well, that will be the first of never. Of Boebert's arrest record, the sheriff said, "To me, that doesn't represent somebody who's engaging in criminal activity." Uh-oh. Junior! Why? 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 Tell me why. All right, you could sit there, but do not sit on the keyboard, okay? We don't continue to punish people. That's what our criminal justice system is all about. I mean, he's really working overtime to try to justify voting for this dumb bitch. Boebert is the front runner. Okay, we know the end of that story. Blah, 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 blah. Bush, a Democrat in the Republican leading district, Mitch Bush, has criticized Boebert's petty crimes, calling her behavior at the country jam disrespectful antics. Yes, they are. That showed contempt for the police and rule of law. Yes, she did. Who the hell asked her to interfere with these kids? Drunken kids, cut it off at the pass. She's not their mothers. And she's telling these fuckers to run. You're really raising a bunch of good people there, Lauren. Well, not that she's their mother, but she's got kids. The bitch got kids. Lauren Boebert's hypocrisy is clear. She thinks that the law doesn't apply to her. If Boebert can't follow basic laws, how can Coloradans trust her to represent them with integrity? As a member of Congress, Republicans and integrity don't live in the same house. They have no integrity. Look at their standard bearer. Look at them. Don't even look at the standard, but look at her. Look at them. As Trump says, look at over here, look at there, look at me, look at that. If you look over there, you look in Arizona. You look over here, you see everything stolen. Look at over there, look at over here, look at under there. You look at here. Oh, yeah, you look at there. What are we looking at? What the fuck, Junior? Stop it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being abused by everybody. The cats abuse me. Life abuses me. I'm like talking. He's like, because he wants my hand. He wants my hand to just be like, okay. I want that too. Why don't you pet me for a little bit? You look at over here, you look at there, you look at there. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I hate them. Okay, here's the other story that I wanted to... it's kind of related to the filthy, disgusting Lauren Boebert. I came across this story. It's a few days old, but we haven't been together in a while. And where is it? And it kind of fits in with all of this is who Republicans are. Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Come on, where is it? Let me see. Where is it? Here it is. Martin Hyde. Did you see this video? This was on February 25th. So it's like, not that long ago. Anyway, first let me give you the background. This son of a bitch, he's a Republican. He heard in, for example, a Lincoln Project video of a bunch of mask holes. He kicked that video off with stupid, some of his stupid antics. And that's all you can say about Republican, what the behavior. It's their antics, So this guy, Martin Hyde, who was... I guess he thinks he's going to help America. But he was pulled over for a traffic stop and immediately went to, don't you know who I am? Okay? Sarasota congressional candidate. He ended his campaign after the video went viral because he's a piece of dog feces. And everybody knows it. Martin, here it is. Where the heck is it? From FloridaPolitics.com. I'll show you. I'll show it to you. I'll do it myself. Come on, what is this? Is this Safari? Yes. Okay. No, that's ScreenFlow. This is Safari. Okay. You're talking to a congressional candidate like this? Police body cam footage of a routine traffic stop shows congressional candidate Martin Hyde immediately becoming argumentative with police. You are making career decisions, the Sarasota Republican told Officer Julia Beskin during their interaction. He also at one point goes after her cultural background. Of course he did, because he's a filthy racist, like the rest of them. There's another, apparently when I was researching this idiot, there's another video of him harassing students, young people, and I guess they had darker pigment, and he's telling them to go pick up a broom, you know, make themselves useful, take out the garbage, pick up a broom. You know, he's a real, good person. He's a real Christian, too. You understand that Republicans are unfit on so many levels? You don't give them power. They've not matured, but it's like an epidemic of privilege. That's all. That's why, as actual patriots, we have an obligation to explain to the youth and educate young people about what it takes to have a functioning democracy. Doesn't mean that everybody's, always perfect all the time. Like that perfect phone call that where Trump used taxpayer money as his personal extortion fund. But you don't give people power who are spiritually sick, morally sick, unfit. That's who they are. But Republicans give them power all the time. And not only, they don't, even when you don't give them power and you try to get them the fuck out of office, you got to overwhelm the vote because of all of the dirty tricks. You got to have millions more votes. Democrats win millions more votes and they're still in the minority. How the hell does that happen if the game isn't rigged in their favor, in the Republican favor? Of course. You're making career decisions, the Sarasota Republican told Officer Julia Beskin. At one point, he goes after her cultural background. The footage confirms notes that appear on a traffic citation written by Beskin, who ultimately cited Hyde for speeding, failure to produce a valid registration, and texting while driving. And he denies, I wasn't doing that. Of course you were. Of course you were, you disgusting liar. The footage confirms, Hyde had faced criticism for days regarding the Valentine's Day stop and has said that he's been barraged with voicemails attacking his behavior. For his part, Hyde told Florida Politics last week he apologized to Beskin after the incident. Bullshit. Well, he did, but as Bess, he did it for himself. He was caught. He was like, I'm getting the chief on the phone. And then another cop pulls up in this because he wanted a supervisor. She's just a little girl. And the supervisor was like, don't you know who that guy is? I mean, what the kind of shit is that? Why wasn't it taser, taser, taser? Why didn't they tase his fat white ass, huh? Why? Of course, we all know why. That's your white privilege. Why can't I hear taser, taser, taser when it's appropriate? All right. Oh, the music is going. What the hell? Are you kidding me? What? I'm bugging out. An hour and 23 minutes has already passed. I feel like we just started. Oh my God. It's insane. All right. I hope it's as good for you as it is for me. Okay. Newly released footage shows a much larger incident than initially apparent, with multiple police officers called to the scene, whether at Hyde's request to see a supervisor based on Beskin's call for backup. Immediately after being pulled over, Beskin, in the video, walks to Hyde's vehicle window and speaks to him about why she pulled him over. She had tagged Hyde driving 57 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. "You don't need to point at me, officer." Hyde tells Beskin, "I'll just call the chief. You know who I am, right?" Beskin says she does, and later in the video is seen privately saying his name to dispatch. Beskin says, the driver is being extremely uncooperative, she states. "Martin Hyde, I just gave him 3 tickets." Hyde, during the stop, not only alludes to calling Rex Troche the chief, but she says he will call, oh, maybe that's not the chief, anyway, but he says he will call, yeah, it is, Marlon Brown, the city manager, and then the mayor. You know, I'm allowed to speed and text while driving. I'm a big, fat, white douchebag. I got connections here. Tickets are for people who get tased. Taser, taser, taser. Ugh. I'm trying to... Where is this dumb bastards? I think I have a video of this. Or maybe I don't. Junior's back. Guess who's back? Junior's back. Junior's back. Junior's back. Ba-da-dum. Bump, bump, bump. I remember. That's all the lyrics I know. Oh no, I fed you. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ. Can I get a break here, please? Can somebody give me a break? I love you. I do. I can't. I do love him. Of course I do. I know, beautiful, but I'm sorry. What do you want from me? What can I do for you? What do you want from me? I know, honey. You want to be pet? Doesn't it sound like he's answering me? He is. He's very talkative. Yes. I love the way he meows, too. He's like, "Nah." His little tongue comes out. Meow for everybody. Show them. He doesn't want to do it now. Great. We did it in rehearsal, and now you're being difficult? Hold on. I'm trying to find this son of a bitch's... I thought I had it. Well, that's why I asked. Become a patron. Martin Hyde. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, shut up. I'm talking to him. Here we go. I'll just play it off of the YouTubes. After this word from whatever ad this is. Hold on, honey. I love you, but, you know. You're a good boy. You're very good. You're very good. You're good. Hey, be good. See what happens? I gotta juggle cats, videos. Oh no, he's coming back, everybody. He's coming back. Oh my God, I might have to put him in the bedroom. He's getting nuts here. This is getting crazy. Here we go. Tara, I love you, but it doesn't help. You're not helping. Why isn't it playing now? Can you fix the internet?
Your license, please.
Let's see.
That was at Euclid and Fruitvale. You don't need to point at me, officer. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing.
You don't need to point at me. She's like, she pointed at the street. You don't need to point.
In the direction where it was.
I'll just call the chief. How's that? Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. Forgive me, my lord.
I didn't know we were back in feudal land where you get to do whatever the fuck you want and we peons pay the price when we expect the same laws for thee and me. I don't see anybody with brown skin in this car. Taser, taser, taser.
Go ahead, sir. Can I see your license? Right? Yes, sir, I do. Can I see your license, registration, insurance, please?
You can do this?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna do this? But it's okay for him to point at her.
I'm sorry? I still have a job to do, sir.
Yeah, okay. What's your name?
Officer Veskin, it's going to be on the citation. Can I see your insurance, registration, and your license, please? Sir, can I have your paperwork, please? 7 years, sir.
How long have you been with the department or force?
Can I see your registration, please?
He gives her the finger as he's handing her his registration. That's why they took it out. You hear?
License, please.
You see this? Look.
Sir, can I have your paperwork, please? 7 years, sir.
What a piece of
Can I see your
shit.
registration, please? You're not going to give me your registration, sir.
Embarrass me?
I'm asking you if you're going to produce me with your registration. You don't have it on you?
I don't have it. I don't got my registration. I'm white. That's my registration right here. This my darker pigment and my pudgy face.
Go call the chief.
Go call the chief. Oh, and then he's like, I'm a freaking asshole running for Congress. Here we go.
Require a certificate of completion. If you sign up for it, you must complete it. Otherwise, they will go ahead and suspend you.
Because she writes him a ticket, and she's telling him, you can reduce your points, blah, blah, blah. This is what you got. You know, she's giving him the spiel about, okay, you got this ticket for speeding, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can take a defensive driving course to reduce your points. And he's like, you don't know why you're making a big mistake, bitch. Well, he didn't say bitch, but
Your license. You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving. Okay? You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving.
you're talking to a congressional candidate. So what? So fucking what? You see what I mean? They think they are above the law.
Driving. Your fine is $116. Information in the back. You're going to have an option to plead guilty and an option to plead not guilty. You are going to be issued a citation for failure to provide your registration upon request. Your fine is $116. Information in the back.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about on the chat? My beloved passed away, wholly buried in the yard that started that behavior? What behavior? Are you talking about Tara Jr.'s behavior? You're scaring me, man. Are you, what tell me. I'm scared. I'm scared. What? Cat's kidneys fail, absorb probes, and take years more. They don't feel well, so you starting to... Wait. Are you talking about Tara Jr.? Or somebody else's cat? All right. I'm sorry. I just saw... Tara Jr. the first had kidney disease. But he's been... His kidneys are fine. This guy. Honey, I gotta put you in the bedroom. I'm gonna... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to play this... And then I'm going to put him in the bedroom. Because he's getting a little crazy. It might... What? Yes. Now, wait. Eve is saying yes, out. Now she is on the cat. Yes, your cat. My cat has... You're saying this is how cats act when they have kidney disease? He's been to the doctor recently. He's going back for his allergies.
I just think, I don't know. He's been tested recently. Don't scare me. I don't need that trauma. I can't handle it. The cat is fine. He just wants to be pet. I think it's because of his skin allergies. He's constantly scratching. No, I know. Yes. Eve says, read up on kidney failure, renals. I know. I'm saying it's common for cats. I know. And research. Just talk to a vet. Oh, I know. I'm telling you, he's had blood work. And I'm not saying like years ago. Recently. Blood work, x-rays. His kidneys are good. He's got skin allergies. I think he's very itchy. And that's why he wants me to constantly scratch him. Look, I'm showing you. Look. I will show what we see here. Look. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. And then I stop. Come on. Now you're stepping on the keyboard. Scratch, 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 scratch. Scratch. And then it's like, come on. Scratch. More scratching. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Here we go. See? Look. He's crazy. He's just like cat scratch fever. Oh, shit. All right. I'm sorry. You just scared me. I know he goes to the vet. You are a great mom. Yes. He just scared me. I'm scared. I think about losing him all the time. Because everything I love leaves me. So. And whenever somebody posts on Facebook or whatever about their poor pet they've lost, I think about that day, which will come. Unless I go first, which is always a possibility. And I can't even handle it. When he goes, I hope he has he's 10. I hope he has at least another 10 in him. And when he goes, I'm not going to be well. I will not be okay. I'm going to be very, very, very upset. I don't think you'll be able to peel me off the floor. I love him. I love him so much. He's the best. He's the goddamn best. He's fun. He's my pal. He's beautiful. He's smart. He's funny. He's toilet trained. He's human. He's just got a big ass mouth. Maybe. Eve says maybe Tara Jr. is just as scared as us about the damn Bobo content. Cats are very smart. Yep. Saying don't talk about Bobo because it upsets everyone. Maybe. I don't know. He's going, when is his appointment actually? Let me see. Calendar. All right, honey. All right. Boom. What the fuck? Oh, it's next week. 8th. The 8th. He's going to the vet on the 8th. All right. 1 second. I'm going to put him in the bedroom. First of all, actually, whatever. Let's get off this story. The show's almost over. We didn't do we did one damn story. The moral of the story is the asshole apologized, apparently. Not really. He apologized because he got caught and looked like a douchebag in front of everyone, as Republicans do. And he dropped out of the campaign, like, who cares? Nobody wants you anyway. I know. And you know what I want to play? Here's another thing let's play this from Fox News. I didn't know that Trey Gowdy, I was reminded, Trey Gowdy is a Fox News contributor. This is the revolving door of fascism. You go right from Congress to Fox News, and you keep spreading lies. So Jennifer Griffin, she's making a name for herself for just like John Bolton did right now, fact-checking the Fox News fascists in real time. I'll play this in the meantime. I know what it is, so it'll give me a couple of seconds to put him in the bedroom.
Welcome back to this special edition of Sunday Night in America. Images of strength and resilience from the Ukrainian people serving as a beacon of hope for the future of their country. But what does that future look like? What future does Vladimir Putin face, or Joe Biden? There are few people who can fully grasp the scope of this conflict, and one of them is our own Fox News national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, who joins us now. Jennifer, your insights on Putin have been so helpful and on point. What can you tell us about Putin that allowed you to see this, frankly, so clearly from the outset?
Well, thank you, Trey. And before we get started, I just heard your last guess, and I feel like I need to correct some of the things that Colonel Doug Macgregor just said, and I'm not sure 10 minutes is enough time to do so, because there were so many distortions in what he just said, and talking about the West and NATO vilifying Putin and sounding like an apologist for Putin, and talking about how he thinks he knows how far Putin wants to go. I don't think anyone that I've spoken to here at the Pentagon or elsewhere in Western intelligence believes they know how far Putin wants to go. And I think that the world has seen what Putin is capable of. And to blame NATO membership for what we've seen Putin unleash, we've seen from Putin's own words that he is talking in czarist terms from a 19th century view of imperial Russia. So what he just said was so distorted that I do feel that our audience needs to know the truth. In terms of Putin, I've known and seen Vladimir Putin operate since 1999 when I was based in Moscow for Fox. It's where I started my career with Fox. And Vladimir Putin is a former KGB agent. He's been laying the groundwork for this, and he's been, whether it was invading Georgia in 2008, we've talked about the invasion in 2014, the kind of appeasement talk that Colonel Doug Macgregor, who should know better, because when he was in government, he was the one who was advising President Trump to pull all U.S. troops out of Germany. That kind of projection of withdrawal and weakness is what made Putin think that he could actually move into a sovereign country like Ukraine. Trey.
Yeah, Jennifer, it takes a lot to surprise me. At my age, I was pretty surprised at Colonel Macgregor. I mean, his view of life is, well, Russia's been telling you they're going to do this, so they did it. I found his take on it stunning and disappointing. Marco Rubio and others.
So why don't you say something? Well, yeah, that's the thing. She checks him and this whatever, what's his name again? It's escaping me. Macgregor, because on the prior appearance right before this segment, this asshole was saying that the Ukrainians should put down their arms and they're going to get themselves killed. It was all this propaganda, the same propaganda that you hear on Fox News. And in fact, according to the Daily Beast and others, the Kremlin tells the Ukraine tells Ukraine to listen to Fox News guests and kneel to Putin. The speakers across Kremlin-funded media were voicing their dismay and disappointment with the worldwide condemnation of Russia's invasion, while guests and pundits on multiple state TV channels expressed frustration with the world's unity in opposition to Putin's aggression. Translated clips from Fox News continue to spark joy for them on their propaganda outlets. In they're using Fox News propaganda in Russia. On Tuesday and Wednesday, multiple state media channels broadcast translated video excerpts from Fox News and a segment with Trey Gowdy. In these clips, Colonel Doug Macgregor, retired,
suggested that Ukrainian troops lay down their guns, retreat, and let the Russian president have his way with Ukraine. He also complained that Putin is being demonized by the United States and opposed any U.S. involvement in helping Ukraine defend itself from Russian aggression. Holy shit. And that's what she's talking about. And that's what they're talking about. And I don't know if we've played it already, but...
And we are
at the end of the segment, or maybe it was in the beginning, the thing that annoyed me, too, about this is that Trey Gowdy is like, I don't pretend to be a foreign policy expert, or I'm not a foreign policy expert, nor am I an expert in geography. What the fuck are you doing, then? You're not an expert in anything that you're talking about? Then shut your filthy fascist face. But that never stops Republicans from opening and flapping their gums. This is the same son of a bitch that harassed and hounded Hillary Clinton. Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. Right? I'm not a foreign policy expert, nor am I an expert in geography. But I will use this Benghazi hearing to... as fodder against my political enemies, revenge of the Clintons and all. Now I have hair all over me. Cat hair. Unreal. There's so many other things. I just don't know if I can do a longer show. I'm not feeling 100%. I'm wondering, maybe we could do another show tomorrow night. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Another great show, because we have a lot to talk about. I just don't want to overdo it tonight. It's only... I was going to do like a 2-hour show. Let's do it like this. Let's wrap up with the Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I want to talk about how the filthy fascists are attacking trans people, and maybe if I get on that tonight, I'm going to be sick tomorrow. I just need to rest. You know what I mean? You can't overdo it when you're not feeling well. Let me see. Let's just talk about Laura. I mean, that's the thing that is so disgraceful and embarrassing, is that they will never stop in disgracing us and embarrassing us. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, as you probably know already, they were heckling Joe Biden throughout his speech, trying to get Republicans to join in a chant of "Build that wall, build that wall." Are you fucking kidding me? So, where the fuck is this? This goddamn son of a bitch. And then I wanted to talk about Pat Robertson. There's so many things. So many, but we can't get to it all tonight. I don't know how it happened. How did it go by so fast? I don't know. Let me see. New York. I wanted to see the New York Post one. Because, as usual, the article about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, banned from the bowling alley Boebert, because I'm like, where the fuck is it? Hold on a second. Twitter. I swear to God, I had it all prepped. Oh, God. Just look at their faces. Oh, here's the one thing. As soon as I jumped on Twitter here, it comes right up. The Hill. The Hill is so annoying. Because all The Hill does, I don't know if you notice this, if you follow The Hill on Twitter, all they do is amplify Republican talking points. Here is another annoying headline. Well, they'll just have some lie coming out of the Republican mouth, and it'll say, Lauren Boebert says, fill in the lie here and all. And I'm like, what does that do? That's not journalism. That is not, well, there was one that was Rick Scott says that Democrats are the enemy of America. What the fuck are you doing, The Hill? Amplifying these fascist divisive talking points of morons and haters and democracy loathers and Putin puppets? That's what they're doing. So this headline really annoyed me. And it's another example of how the corporate media sucks. Boebert shocks Democrats with Biden's State of the Union interruption. Just Democrats, right? Just Democrats. What kind of shit is that? How about, well, it's not just Boebert. Boebert and Greene shock America, let's say, right? With their filthy fascist antics of 12-year-olds. No offense to 12-year-olds. Why is that shocking Democrats? It's just Democrats were shocked? Because Republicans don't have the ability to be shocked anymore because they are as low as they can go. Is that it? That's the headline. Boebert shocks Democrats. So the Republicans are cool with this. As long as a Republican as long as it's a Democrat, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can take a shit in the Capitol. They can wipe their asses on the drapes. They can trash your offices. They can degrade and degenerate, or degrade and disparage and embarrass the country with their disgusting antics. They're disgusting. And it's childish, classless. And it never stops. Why can't Joe Biden unify? It's us against them. We always feel so us against them-y. Boebert, yeah, am I just being picky here? Boebert shocks Democrats with Biden's State of the Union interruption. As if, don't even try shocking Republicans. They think this is appropriate behavior. Shock? What is wrong with you, Hill? The Hill? Appalled, maybe shocked. Nobody's shocked at this behavior. It's expected. It's not shocking when we can't expect any better of them. In fact, I would be fucking shocked if they shut their traitor mouths for a second. That's when I would really be in shock. Democrats shocked because Boebert and Lauren effing banned from the bowling alley, Boebert, and Marjorie Taylor serial adulterer Greene shut their filthy traitor mouths for a second during the State of the Union. Everyone's shocked. Normal people everywhere shocked when banned from the bowling alley Boebert and her treasonous mail slot whisperer, screamer, not even whisperer, the fake successful businesswoman, another fake ass CrossFit enthusiast. That's what she did for a living. I mean, it's not even for a living. She was sucking on her family's business like a parasite, traveling the country, having extramarital sex with someone who was her boss, and then also a tantric sex guru. A polyamorous tantric sex guru. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she's a hypocritical scum. I don't care. Whatever. But don't tell me your little pee-pee. Pee-pees. You're going to put your pee-pee sign out. Man and woman pee-pees. Only pee-pees that can fit in my small mind. Allowed. Because they're all derivative. Can't do anything normal. Can't be a normal. They have to act like they're normal. That's why when the I can't remember the woman's name now, the representative who has a trans child,
puts a sign outside, something about trans rights. I don't remember. And Lauren Boebert, you can't handle that. The trans rights, that means that we don't have another targeted minority group to vilify and fundraise off of. And who gives a shit who dies? Because, life and families and freedom. You don't have the freedom to wear a mask. You don't have the freedom to do whatever to have your family care for you or care for their child. You got banned from the bowling alley Boebert and Marjorie Taylor, mail slot whisperer, screamer, telling him he's got to do the same thing, because they are derivative. They never had an original thought in their heads. So somebody puts out a sign that is life affirming and loving. They can't handle that. They got to counter that with hate and ignorance. That's it. You never see you. In fact, I would be shocked. If a Republican ever stopped with the hate and the ignorance. That should be the headline. I'm so tired of it. Why doesn't Joe Biden unify us? Why? I mean, we're so tired of the us versus them. Well, how about you tell Republicans, instead of saying, why can't Joe Biden unite us around these fucking morons who hate America and want to destroy human life because they are the party of control and fascism and they hate life? They hate life like they hate America? Why can't he unify us? Well, why don't you tell them, The Hill and every other corporate media outlet, to start acting like human beings who don't hate America? And if they're confused about America, which is clear that it's not just that they hate America, they're confused by her, then explain to them what this thing is. Well, Putin isn't woke, right? They all loved Putin for years. They keep loving him. Trump wants to love him, love him, love him. Love him long time and all that. But, yeah, Putin ain't woke. And Putin knows what bathroom to go in. It's all this hate. Trans hate, gay bashing. That's all it's about. Putin hates gays like they do. Putin hates trans people like they do. So that's freedom to them? They have the freedom. Oh, the people in Ukraine they're not talking about, what did that person say? They're not calling each other racists and talking about genders, or using, or calling, or saying something about calling people pronouns. That's freedom to them. You know what I mean? People in Ukraine are fighting for the freedom to call themselves whatever the fucking pronouns they want to call themselves, right? Not what Putin wants to call them or what these dumb bitches want to call them. That's freedom to them. Ignorance is strength. Hate is love. Fear is courage. I suppose everything is upside down. Hating democracy is patriotic. Oh, that's freedom. No, but you don't have the freedom to help your child. You don't have that freedom. You just have the ignorance and the hypocrisy and the hate. That's fascism. When you have a filthy fascist saying that, the Ukrainians are fighting for what? Well, they're not fighting for democracy. According to these fascists, they're fighting for the freedom to hate on targeted minority groups. That's what they're saying. They're not calling each other racists. Well,
maybe because they're fighting, they're pledging their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to each other and putting their lives on the line for each other. Unlike Republicans who can't even wear a mask. If it might save one person, who cares? Go die. God. The embarrassment of watching the antics of idiots constantly. And that's why they want Trump in office. They don't care. They sat there. Nobody said, shut the fuck up, you dumb bitches. Sit down. You're embarrassing us. Nobody. Apparently, somebody on the Democratic side said, shut up and sit down. None of the Republicans did it, but yes, Boebert shocks Democrats. Look at that. Look at the embarrassment of that, of them. The disdain they have for the house that they're in, the people's house. That's how you behave? In the people's house? There's no reverence. There's no respect. Of course not. This is after listening to Ronald Reagan. Government is the problem. No wonder you burned down the Capitol and took a shit in the halls, right? I wouldn't be surprised if that was Boebert herself. All those steroids, she can't control her bowels. Or, I don't know, Boebert's, maybe Boebert's. I mean, what's the other one? Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's what I meant. Boebert's husband maybe came in and showed his dick to everybody, and they were so underwhelmed, they trashed the place. Unbelievable. Democrats, why can't they unify? We're all so tired of us against them. Let's get unity. Unity? Are you crazy, lady? You're going to unify with that? These fucking barbarians? Baboons? That's what they are. They're a waste of human DNA. Jesus Christ. What is this? Oh, look at this. 42 minutes ago. From the Hill. Finally, something. January 6th panel claims Trump engaged in corrupt scheme on the 2020 election. You think? You think? Oh my God, I hate them. Jesus H. Mary and Joseph. Somebody rapture these assholes on the hell out of here already. Will somebody rapture them? Take them out of here. Go away. Go to the woods. Live in the woods. Like the Unabomber, whatever the hell. Look, here. I did this little meme today. Because of this guy in the middle. Imagine being this guy's relative. What the fuck? Profile and courage. Republican style. Representative Byron Donalds laugh and keep quiet as two fascists disgrace America. Ha ha! Oh look, he's sitting in the middle of them. Don't say sit down, you dumb bitches. Allow them to disgrace the halls of Congress. You know, the system, the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. Oh, here's another thing that really pissed me off. It's related. From the New York Post, of course. Rupert Murdoch's cesspool. It's the pus oozing from the fissured hemorrhoid on the cancer on the body politic. That's Rupert Murdoch and all of his fascist propaganda outlets. It's pus oozing out of the body politic. And then you have the parasites like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, the rest of them who go and they feed off of that pus. So the New York Post
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert heckle Biden at the State of the Union. And then they have these pictures of them. Right? So, I'll show you what annoyed the hell out of me. Look. Is that an ape over here? Hey! Your dead son! And no one's telling this idiot to stop. Shut the fuck up. Where are you? What do you think this is? Is this the WWE? You dumb embarrassment. All of them. There's all these people around. Ha ha ha. The guy in the middle, he's laughing. Look at these idiots. This lady sitting here, she's not saying a word. No one stopped them. So what really got on my nerves here, of course, the New York Post. Let me see. Pelosi. Yeah, they had to find the whataboutism in the whole thing. Because it's never, we fucked up, I'm sorry. It's what about? They take Putin, his playbook. It's Joseph Goebbels' playbook, too. So they write, this is the New York Post. Many of Greene's utterances were inaudible to reporters, such as when she said something in Biden's direction when he spoke about ordering antiviral pills from Pfizer to treat COVID-19. Okay? Here. The critical behavior called to mind House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ripping up President Donald Trump's speech at the end of the 2020 State of the Union. Is that what it did? Oh, you had to come up with some comparative thing that you can go, what about? Did that really rise to the level? Now, I know that Nancy Pelosi is just a feckless as the rest of them. She's good at fundraising, which is part of the problem. We don't need funds in politics. That's why we're in fascism. Thanks. Okay. She's good at taking a knee and getting reporters. It's ridiculous. The platitudes, the outward displays, it's on par with Republicans wearing a bunch of shirts with eagles and flags on it. They're not patriotic. We don't need your platitudes. We don't need your symbols or your symbolism. We need the policies. So I'll take a knee. You know what I mean? I'll go and I'll do that part. I'll do the civil disobedience, the marching, we don't need you to do that, Nancy. We need the policies. Okay? But she ripped up that piece of garbage that was written by Stephen Miller. Oh, yeah, that's as good as it gets with Nancy Pelosi. It's the same old shit. As the rich get richer, the working class slip lower and lower on the ladder, and working poor. I don't hear Nancy Pelosi saying, how do we have a category in this country called the working poor? That's disgusting. Okay, beside the point. The point is, whataboutism? Is that what you thought when you saw or heard these idiots open their lie holes and let the bats out of the belfry in the State of the Union? I mean, how vile and childish and classless and Republican. How disgusting. I know I repeat myself. But that's what you say. Oh, they had to come up with something. The critical behavior called to mind Nancy Pelosi ripping up Donald Trump's speech. No, it didn't. Only on Rupert Murdoch's cesspool did it call to mind that, because that's whataboutism. What about? Same thing. Both sides. Do you understand how, I know you do, but how harmful the mainstream media are? Jesus Christ. Yep, it is time for Nancy Pelosi to retire. Well past time. Well past time. And Schumer. Irene on the chat. Yep. I can't even tell you. Every time I go on YouTube, let's see if it happens now. I'll go on I'll just open YouTube. And I'll try to play a video. Let's see. See if an ad comes up. Oh, nope, not that one. Half the time I'll get an ad. Stop. Don't turn away. It's Schumer. He's sitting in front of a computer screen reading, clearly, of course. Isn't it inspiring? Stop. Don't scroll away. Republicans are assaulting voting rights. We need you. You, yes, you. By this deadline to send us some money so we can fight. Fight, fight, fight. Taser, taser, taser. The American people. Well, this is terrible. We can't stand it. Jesus, help us. Stop. Don't scroll away. My name is Chuck Schumer, otherwise known as the Senator from Wall Street. Did you know that Democrats and Republicans are sucking at the same trough sometimes? And I've been here for many years. In all those years, you went from most to the least upwardly mobile. All right. Guys, I know. Richard W. Schumer is terrible. He's raised more donor money in history for Dems, but he can't get anything done. No, of course not. He's part of, I mean, you know, people like term limits. I'm with Tom Hartman with that. You know, if you have term limits, this is what they did to FDR. The only reason we have term limits for presidents is because they didn't want another FDR. Gotta stop that. Gotta stop that. Can't have anybody promoting the general welfare and creating a middle class from the ground up. That can't happen. We need working poor. We need child labor. We need you begging Jesus for a trickle and saying, "Don't worry, Jesus, I will never overthrow my natural Lord, because I will get a mansion in heaven." And while the earthly rewards, all the 1% have those cornered. But whatever, Schumer. It's just, come on, go away already. Get somebody in there that's not sucking on the corporate teat. Finally. I hope I live long enough to see it. Oh, God, we are in trouble. Why can't Biden unite, though? Why can't he unite around those Neanderthals? Why? The ones who scream and yell and spread the big lie. Why? He said he was going to unite us. Well, how about we unite around democracy? Anybody else can fall by the wayside or go live in the woods like the Unabomber, digging your own wells, digging your own latrine. Just dig a hole and shit in it. Who needs pipes? Who needs the sewer system? That's socialism. Right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Make your own sewer. You taker. You want to you flush the toilet, everything goes down? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're free. Yeah, I'm free. I don't have to shit in the woods. That's freedom. I don't have to, but well, you expect anything else for your tax dollars, then you're socialist. You're socialist.
You're not socialist if you pay your taxes and those dollars go into fund Bezos's jerking off in space lifestyle. Yes, Stephanie says AOC needs to run for Schumer's seat. I think I hear a rumor about that she might be thinking of it. And that all we hear on the corporate media is like everything that happens, like with the San Francisco school board or the election in Texas, the primaries in Texas, everything is a message that progressives are getting trounced. Nobody likes progressives. Of course not. You keep fucking making people stupid and telling them that any attempt to throw the American people a lifeline is somehow an assault on their freedom. It's ridiculous. I'm just so sick of people, the dumbasses, believing it. That's why the Democrats probably don't use my phrasing that we're building the infrastructure of democracy. That's what, when you say, what about taxing the rich? It's punitive. And it was great that Joe Biden talked about it, that the rich, I'm a capitalist. Oh, that's the other thing. How they always have to say, I'm a capitalist. And then I'm not sure if you heard the applause. There was like a smattering of applause. I'm a capitalist. Why does capitalism get an applause? Like, shut the fuck up. Capitalism needs so much validation constantly. If it's so great, why do you need to constantly stroke it? I'm a capitalist. Well, great. Capitalism without regulation is fascism. You bastards. Not you. Them. But any attempt to help the American people and for tax dollars to go to the general welfare, that's tyranny. Tyranny. So why doesn't Joe Biden say we're building the infrastructure of democracy? Because you can't have a democracy and an aristocracy. You can't have a democracy and a country with the widest income gap and the least upwardly mobile. Why doesn't he say that? 40 years ago, the United States was the most upwardly mobile. Now it's the least upwardly mobile. What the hell is so hard to understand about that? Why don't they say it? Because why? What do you think? It's fine. That's why. They've been in office since the United States working class slipped lower and lower on the ladder. I guess they like it. And Joe Biden all of a sudden, he's fulfilling the wish list of the radical left. Oh yeah, the radical left just wants that radical thing called the Democratic Republic that works for all. Isn't that radical? All right, guys. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thank you, Irene, for your amazing super chat. You win the super chat challenge tonight. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, JD. And thank you, River, as always. And I'm so glad you received the Tarabuster mugs. And thank you, Haiku, and Errol Thomas, and Richard W. And Irene, did you ever get a mug? Would you like a mug? A Tarabuster mug? Anybody else want a mug? You have to send me your address to tarabustermedia@gmail.com. Anybody? Not everybody. Or if you're a supporter. What do you think? I'm made of money here? It'd be kind of defeating the purpose if people support the show. And then I spend all that money on mugs. They're made to order. So you gotta send me your email. I mean your address and all that. All right, if you'd like, Irene. It's a pretty impressive super chat. So I think that deserves a mug. And anybody else? River's got mugs. JD, Jim, Haiku. Did you ever get a mug, Haiku? Errol. of course, Richard W. Guys, I can't keep a track on who got a mug. I can barely get out of bed in the morning. All right, so we'll see what happens. Errol Thomas says, "Hey JD, how are things in the United Kingdom? I hope you got room on your couch for all of us, JD. You lucky bastard. I'm coming home." Fuck, Grandma. God damn you, Grandma. Damn you. All right, I will try. Errol wants a Tarabuster mug, so you have to send me, and Stephanie, send me an email, tarabustermedia@gmail.com, that has your, what do you call it? Your address, your name and address. How's that sound? That's how I will know where to send these mugs. Right? They're not bad. They're very nice mugs. And they're dishwasher safe. I've washed this in the dishwasher all the time. It hasn't ever faded. It's pretty good. They're made pretty good. Pretty damn good. And Richard said, I use my mug every day. I love it. It's a great size. If you like coffee, it's the perfect size for your morning coffee. It really is. All right. I gotta go get unconscious. I'm feeling kind of weak now. And the cat's in the bedroom. I feel bad. He's probably confused. What am I doing in here? Why isn't anybody scratching my head? What the hell? All right, my friends. I will try to do a show tomorrow. Let's see. What do you think? And then, of course, we have our Friday show. But we have other, there's a lot to talk about. In the meantime, remember what I say. We will win. All right. You have a Francis mug and a resist flag. If you like a Tarabuster mug, haiku, of course. I need everybody's address. The thing about the tarabustermerch.com store is it only stores 5 addresses and then it rotates them. So I always have to put in. It's kind of annoying. You would think it would be helpful if they save the addresses. I don't know. I don't program the damn thing. It's a Shopify thing, so. But everybody, remember my name, fame. Go to tarabuster.com. No, what am I doing? Go to patreon.com/TaraDevlin to become a patron if you'd like to keep the goddamn show going and growing. And remember, we will win. Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency. That's for sure. Dignity and democracy. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much. It's really nice to hang out with you guys again after a couple of days. Feeling like shit. And laying in bed, being sick. But hopefully I'll be okay tomorrow. We'll see, and maybe I will see you tomorrow, but I will see you definitely